much do you know about in Clemency? Because so many people don't know. I'm pretty sure. Today I'd like to talk about Maplewood Park. You may not know. Built with tall with four trees, Maplewood is once for cheering place for stroll or picnic. Includes a dynamic playground, two sets of swing, a baseball field, and green space for picnics and outdoor activities. The outdoor pool is popular summertime destination. The people of all age enjoy a swim in the sparkling waters. Massive tree stumps sculptures through the park. Aesthetic in their own right, a reminder of the temperate rainforest that once covered much of Vancouver. The park is over 100 years old with towering trees and ambient colors that were painted in 1930. So like children in these hands will have an idea of the grasslands of chambers that once covered Point Grey. This is Maple Grove Park. I'm Tedishi.
First day of Fiji, and I lose my allspice Fiji. It was so gentle on my skin. Son, that's mine. Give it here. Bye-bye. At the end of the Mystic Up season, three cars were typed in pointed. The arrogant rookie Blake McQueen, the aggressive and opportunistic Chick Hicks, and living legend, the PTA champion Street, the King Weathers. The decision would then be made in California. As we know, McQueen wanted to be the first to arrive there, but that night, crossing the desert on Route 66, something happened. The exhausted McQueen truck tried to keep driving. He fought off sleep, blinked it, and lost control. The trailer opened, Lightning McQueen fell onto the road, and in a desperate attempt to find McQueen, he ended up stranded in a forgotten town called Radiator Springs. It was then he met his future mentor, Doc Hudson, in love Sal Carrera, and his best friend Monty. It was also there that he learned that racing wasn't everything. It was there that he learned the value of friendships, and in the end, he lost the Piston Cup, but gained something greater. That's the story we know. But what if everything had been different? And instead of succumbing to exhaustion, he had stopped to rest. Then it's time to go back in time, more specifically after the final race, and consider this possibility in the story. What if the Queen had stopped to rest? After the last race, the three-way tie still echoed behind the scenes. The arrogant Lightning McQueen wanted to get to California quickly since Dinoco's sponsorship was waiting for the next champion. So, as soon as he could, he set off. It was hours of driving, many kilometers. Then, at one point in the journey, the solitude of the asphalt and the silence of the night took their toll. Mac felt the weight of its headlights and suggested to Lightning McQueen a rest stop. His body screamed for a good night's sleep, but Lightning didn't want to stop. He thought it would ruin all his plans. However, after hearing from Mac that it was better to rest dead, never arrive, McQueen agreed with the promise that they would leave as soon as possible. Mac then left the highway and entered an almost empty gas station. Fluorescent lights illuminate the early morning. He stops, rests for a while, and before the sun even rises, they're on the road again. No accidents occur, no tow trucks open, and the trip continues smoothly and without incident. In Radiator Springs, things are as they always were. Without them, the town remained forgotten and empty. Without investment and without media exposure, the influx of tourists so longed for and awaited by its inhabitants never materialized. Floor's BA Cafe is increasingly empty. It tries to keep smiling, but the customers are always the same. Ramon's art shop starts closing earlier and even doesn't open on some days. After all, there are no new paintings, no visitors. Louis and Guido continue to dream of Dolores, but no one enters. South continues to fight to preserve the Quaker Hotel and the traditional well. She believes the town can be saved, but alone it will tires. And one day it will leave too. Doc Hudson, Doc observes. He remains a silent judge. He continues to hide his past as the fabulous Russell Horns, because without McQueen, no one discovers who he was. His legacy remains buried under dust. And worst of all, he never races or trains anyone again. His story dies with him. Radiator Springs slowly fades with the same silence as always. The lights that once flickered no longer light up. Radiator Springs isn't demolished, it simply disappears from the map like so many other towns of 66. On the California track, the atmosphere is electric. During the race, takes place dirty, as always. This time, McQueen doesn't have Doc's teachings echoing in his memory. He doesn't know how to race with a refined defensive strategy. He doesn't understand the importance of emotional control. He simply races with pure instinct, pure arrogance, and he's fast, very fast. On the last lap, MQ is in the lead. Tim, in a desperate act to avoid falling off the king again, touches the veteran, causing a serious accident. But McQueen doesn't hesitate. He doesn't slow down, doesn't look back. He crosses the finish line first, an explosion of spotlights, a roaring crowd. But something changes in that moment. The audience doesn't cheer as it should. There's an uncomfortable silence. The king is devastated behind them, and the new champion hasn't returned. McQueen climbs onto the podium alone, without friends around, without a cheering team to celebrate with him. The king is devastated, heading to the hospital. McQueen doesn't even notice. Interviews, contracts, money, and sponsorships. He gets everything he wanted, but something begins to change. Without learning humility, he becomes impatient, disdains veterans, and humiliates opponents. His victory isn't remembered as heroic, it's remembered as cold. He won, it's true, but his victory is forever tarnished. Years later, McQueen is alone in a modern warehouse. Trophies lined up, many trophies indeed. But strangely, a feeling of emptiness takes over. He has no real friends, no roots, and no city to return to. McQueen keeps racing, and when the new generation cars arrive, Lightning lacks emotional composure, Sanu. But overtaken by the Nexians, he reacts with anger, not reflection. And when he finally loses, there's no one to help him understand that racing was never just about winning. McQueen won the Piston Cup that night,